Hey, welcome to our first tactical lesson of the Realtor Workshop. Now, today we're talking about Facebook ads and how to create one, either your first one or your next one. And what we want to do is show you exactly what I do step by step. And I want you to follow along. So if I'm going too fast, just hit pause on the video and then do it on your own and then go back to the video. So I really want you creating this along with me side by side. Okay, so let's get into it now. So what you want to do is you want to log into your Facebook page. And on the left-hand side of your Facebook, you're going to see something here that says Ads Manager, but you're also going to see Meta Business Suite, which really is where you find your leads that we're creating on form leads. And I'll get into that in a moment. But if you don't see this on yours, it's potentially because you're not using it enough. So on the left-hand side, if you scroll down under See More and open this up, if you can't see it where at the top, then it's most likely in here somewhere. But because I use mine every single day, mine's on the left hand at the top side. So hopefully yours is there too. Now let's get into it. Now, the big three of real estate lead generation are, of course, home evaluations, expired, and FSBOs, or for sale by owners. That's the big three on the selling side. The top two on the buying side is investors and just a very simple buyer's campaign. So the top 5 ads you need to be running are those 5 ads: home evaluation, expired, FSBOs, a buyer campaign, and investor campaign. Okay. So today I want to show you how to create your first home evaluation, which is the most important ad to create. So what you're going to do on the left-hand side of this green button where it says create, we're going to get into that of creating an ad. So before we get into that, Facebook is broken down into 3 categories. They have this thing at the top tab called campaigns. Then below that is ad sets, and below that further is ads. So campaigns essentially what you want to run. You're going to tell Facebook, this is what kind of campaign I want to run. Is it generating leads? Is it going to a website? Like, what are you doing? Ad sets is telling you about how long you want to run the ad for. What's the budget? Who do you want to send it to? And then the ad itself is the creative part. That's the fun part, right? That's where you get to have a lot of fun, show the actual ad itself, and we're going to create all this. So let's get started. So we're going to go here to say create. And it's going to open up a browser and ask you what campaign type you want to create. So today, and you don't really need to know about anything else other than leads, because that's what we're doing here, especially as real estate agents. You're not running a store. You're not looking for some e-com business. You are generating leads for people to buy and sell real estate simply. So just go on to leads. Very simple. Click continue. Now, the cool part about Facebook, it's great that they're the biggest company on planet Earth when it comes to advertisement. Now, when it comes down to it, though, when I first started in real estate and started Facebook, this is not what it was like. It was so difficult. It was so complicated. The algorithm was just atrocious. We could never find the right sort of combination that worked well, but it worked well enough to generate leads. But we were spending so much money on just getting someone in the door because Facebook didn't know what they were doing either, which is okay. But now we're down to it and we're into 2024, and you only really have 2 options. You either have this tailored lead campaign, which is what I'm recommending. So effectively what Facebook is doing, say, just tell us what you want. We'll do everything else for you. Okay. They know more about Facebook than you ever will. So you might just let them do it. Now, that didn't happen when I first started in Facebook, because they're like, what do you want to do? And they're like, we want to run a lead. What kind of lead? And it's just like, it was very complicated. So the good thing is you don't have to have that complication. However, if you really are advanced in terms of advertising and you have a skill set that you want to sort of take advantage of, you can go into a manual setup and get very specific in terms of your targeting. But for today, we're just going to be doing a tailored lead campaign. Okay, so you just click on this. It's already pre-clicked for you. Just go continue. And then when you get to the next stage, this is where you're going to start getting into the creative part. Okay. And so what you want to do as a word of caution, make sure you're labeling all of this. So if depending on what city is, like we have teams across the country. So like this one, I'm going to show you for Toronto, but we also have like teams in Vancouver and Calgary and all over the place. So based on what city we're trying to target the ad on, it'll be based on the city. So just put in the city you're working on, and we're going to do a Toronto sellers home evaluation campaign. So just type in that so you know what is what, because we have like hundreds and hundreds of campaigns and ads, so it gets really complicated. If you only have one, it's fine, but just do this as a good way of keeping everything organized moving forward. So you just name it. Special ad category. Now, when you are offering real estate, so you have one specific property, you want to click on the selection of housing. Some agents do housing on the selling side, but you don't have to do it for offering a service. The only downside to clicking on the housing tab is it limits in terms of age, the radius. It can't be below 15 miles. So depending on what city you work in, you may want to be more specific. Like in New York City, for example, you don't want a 25-mile radius. It's only 10 miles wide. So you don't want that huge radius because you're going to be getting more people than you want. So you don't need to click this for offering a service, which is what we're doing on home evaluation. Now, what we're going to be doing now, you can either do, we're going to do an instant form. What an instant form is that's where someone is on their phone, you're going about their day, they're scrolling through Facebook, and they see your ad, they click on it, and they'll pre-populate what their Facebook information is for them. Okay, that's what we want to do today. So it's an online, on Facebook lead generation form. Okay. You pick whatever page you have. You set your budget. So we're going to do $20 a day. You can do as low as $5 a day, which is kind of how we started years ago. But $20 is a good test, and you generally want to run it for 1 week if you've never done this before. So you want to set your date as 1 week. And why do you want to set an end date? Well, you're going to get busy. You're going to forget. The ad may or may not be working. Time goes by. Let's say 3 weeks passes. You're still generating these leads and spending money. It may not be working. You want to have a certain end date. So do it for 1 week. And if the ad's great and is working and the leads are coming in that you love, then you can extend that end date and put it on, or just take it off and it'll run indefinitely. Now, budget scheduling, you don't really need to talk about. That's where you can readjust the budgeting based on volumes. If you see like Saturday mornings is busier or Sunday afternoons is, then you can adjust the scheduling of when you want to spend more money, and it'll just generate more people for you. But let Facebook do its magic. They know, they are so good at this algorithm game now. They've basically created it, and they just know what's going to go on. So when it comes to Advantage Plus, I would recommend you use Advantage Plus only because they will find who is most likely, based on what you're trying to do in the ad, of who's most likely to click on that ad. So again, Facebook knows more about Facebook than you ever will. So you might as well let them do the work. I wouldn't have said this 10 years ago because they didn't have this. Now, when it comes to location, I want to be more specific. You don't want to just generalize because you're offering a service within the city you're living in. So we're doing it pre-populates a 25-mile radius. If you've selected the housing, it selects as 15 minimum. Now, I'm going to do 10 miles because I want to concentrate it to the center of the city that I'm targeting this ad to, this campaign. And then Advantage Audience, it's the same thing, right? So it'll suggest certain things, but that's all you need to do for now. So all you do is down here at the bottom right, you're going to click Next. And this is going to take you into the ad set. And the ad set, you'll see what's going to deliver here. You want to do the exact same thing. So you want to be specific. Toronto sellers, home evaluation. Okay, so yeah, call it that. And then if you have multiple pages, you can select which page. So when we first started in Facebook, there was a philosophy that if you did non-branded Facebook pages versus branded Facebook pages, that they would outperform. It turns out they didn't. So we just got rid of the non-branded one and just have the one branded page. But you can play around with it as much as you want. Maybe you have a personal page, or maybe you're a dog groomer on the weekends and a realtor during the week, and maybe you have different pages. So just make sure you select the page you want. And here's where you start to create the ad. If you've selected the quick stream of creating the ad. Now, if you go into the manual, you're going to actually have another page in front of this where your ad set, you're going to have more information to complete. But anyways, so let's get into the ad now. So you want to just select an image, and you can upload your image. You can have it from your account. You can do videos. There's so many cool things you can do. So when it comes to home evaluation, I've always found that the nicer the picture, the more attraction that people find on Facebook. Okay, so we always find a really nice real estate photo. When you get down to it, these are different sizes so this is in the feed stream, for example, it's going to be 1 by 1. It's recommending this original size, but I don't like how it's cutting off this gray part. You could potentially crop it and fit it in a little bit better, and then it'll fit to the page better, but that goes back to 1 to 1, okay? On this one, it's recommended 9 by 16, and if same thing. If you don't like it, you can crop it, and you say, yeah, I want the couch more, or whatever. Again, play around with it. You're not going to break it, so just nothing's right or wrong here. You're just going to play around with it. And then this one, same thing. I don't really like the recommended one, so I like this as it fills the page more. And that's simple. It's just creating what the ad is going to look like for the consumer at the back end. And then optimization, again, it depends on how specific you want to get in terms of branding, colors, what you want certain things to look like on the ad. You can spend a lot of time with that. I'm saying you don't have to go through that hassle. Facebook is really good at putting these ads in front of people. As long as the picture is intriguing and the hook, the actual copy you're going to use on your headline is key, then that's really all you need. But again, play around with it. You can adjust the fonts, the colors, the text, all sorts of different things. But for now, I'm just going to leave it. Just make it quite simple. And that's it. We're almost complete. You see her on the right side, most of the ad is completed, right? So I've got my page there. It's got the picture. It doesn't have any copy yet or a form for them to fill out, but we're going to get into what that is. Now, there's 3 sections of the ad that essentially you want to fill out. So the primary text is at the top part of the ad. This is where you can expand, and really there's no limit to what you could put there. But what you want to do is at the top of the fold, basically at the top of the ad before it cuts off, you want to put the most intriguing hook or copy that someone's going to want to click on. Now, as they expand or they may be interested in sitting on the fence, they can open that up and you can actually explain more of what you do. So all you want to do is come up with something, say, do you know the price of your home? Most Torontonians underestimate the true value of their home. Okay, so see on the right side how it pre-populates. If I kept going, and let's say I just did more information down here, you wouldn't actually see that part, but you'll clearly see more, and they'll open it up. So if you want, you can continue and do as much as you want, but that's really all you need to get started for the home evaluation. Now, the headline is at the bottom of the ad. So based on, depending on where the feed is, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or news or a post, and you can look at what they all do in different stages, that will be placed in a certain different location, okay? So let's see. On a headline, you say, do you know what your home is worth? For example. At the bottom of the ad, you'll see here, do you know what your home is worth? Simple question, yes or no. And then at the description, it's just another line below that. You would say, click to learn the true value of your home. Now, we got to be careful of is the length. So, and it comes to visualization, what people are actually looking for here. And sometimes you'll get these ads that get cut off in terms of what they're saying. Do you know the price of your home? If you see these different ads. But look, I'm liking how this is starting to shape up. And I usually almost always use learn more, but you can do get offer, download if you have something to give them. You can book now, which is you can actually hook up a booking software where it'll bring them to a calendar I use, and they'll say, yeah, I want to talk to you on Monday at 2 p.m. or whatever it is. But for now, we're just going to say learn more. And that button changes there. Now, learn more, what they're going to want you to do is create a form. Now, this is the form you have to create on Facebook so that when they are on Facebook, they'll fill in their information, actually pre-populates from them, and then they just submit it. It's the best way to get a lead, especially on Facebook. Okay, so how you do that is you're just going to scroll here and you're going to see this? You're going to say create form. So you're going to actually doing the creating of the form. So same thing. You want to be very specific of what the form is. This is Toronto home valuations. And you have three options. There's rich creative, if you really want to spend a lot of time on the creative side of things. Higher intent, which is people, Facebook will push this in front of people who are most likely to give you their information with the intention of actually talking with you. The problem with more volume is like anybody can fill this out, whether they have a house, they have an apartment, they're renters or buyers, like anybody could fill it out. So you kind of get less quality leads. So I'd prefer to do a higher intent. With higher intent, the problem with higher intent, which I don't like, is they have this review screen. And the problem with the review screen is like, hey, by the way, here's the information you supplied. Are you okay with submitting it? So it kind of second guesses their thing. So the problem with that is, you go back and you say, well, Facebook, I'd rather just get more volume and let me be the decisive one of who's going to, who I'm going to talk to, who I'm not going to talk to. Okay. So it's up to you. Neither one is bad. It's just more volume. You'll get less quality leads, but you'll still get more leads of people to talk to. And hey, guess what? Almost everybody I speak to is eventually a client at some point in time. Now, when it comes, so on the form is on the right, you can see, and you get to now create it. So all you do is scroll down, and you're going to see these different forms. So you can click on them, they open, they close, and you start creating the form. So just upload an image of, it'll tell you exactly what size, and then we'll probably do something like this, what's your home worth, and they'll just populate at the top of the form. So when they open it on their Facebook, there's some graphic they can look at. And the greeting, you're going to say something like, or welcome. I don't like welcome. Find out what your home is really worth. And you just say most Toronto home owners undervalue their house. Don't let that be you, or whatever. And you can, if you're stuck on copy or like what it should sound like, or if you want to improve it, one of the cool things you should do is go to ChatGPT. And we have like a lot of videos on our YouTube channel about using ChatGPT to fill this stuff out. But for now, I'm trying to keep this brief and concise. I just want you creating something to get it started and out there. It's more important than making sure the copy is correct. So far, hopefully you've been following along, and I'm almost completed. We're almost ready to launch this thing to the world. And as opposed to you coming back and saying, the copy isn't right, I got to do this perfect. Forget perfect. Done is better than perfect always. So I don't care that this is not perfect. I can always go back in and change it, edit it. If I want to change a title, change the form, change the graphics, change whatever, you can always go back in after the fact and get it done. Okay. So the next question is going to be the actual form itself. Now, you can come up with your own questions if you want, but again, Facebook is so good at this that you might just do what they're recommending. And they're just recommending two things. I like the phone number because if we're in sales, we got to make sure we call people on the phone. I set it up just full name, email, phone number. That's just a personal thing. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Privacy policy, if you don't have one, you can certainly talk to your broker. They'll definitely have one. And just add this here. It's just a link of like your privacy policy. And here, just going to say privacy policy, which is, if you're seeing on the right side of the screen, it's populating this as I go along, just a privacy policy. Okay. And then message for leads. So this is where it's really cool part of Facebook. If you are looking to speak with a home seller, for example, and the seller's like, hey, I'm kind of interested. I'm thinking of selling my home. This is a great stage. They've said, look, I want to know the value of my home. They've given you the information, but you can instantly give them your marketing campaign or your about me page or your, like, what do you do? So you can either upload to Facebook your sellers campaign. We have booklets that we give to sellers guides. We have 7 laws to increasing your home by 18%. We have books. There's so many like digital books. There's so many things we've created over the years that you can put up there, but don't think you have to do that. But just know this is a really cool part that you can do that. You can just see here, view file. And you can literally upload a file that they can download instantly on their phone, all about you and selling you and like what you're about and marketing, etc. But if you don't have that, you can literally just simply send them to a website, which is what we'll do today. But the website they're going to go to is a home evaluation website. And what that does, it just brings them to a site if they want, and they can type in their address, and it'll instantly give them the valuation of their home with a follow-up. But we get all the information on the back end, so we'll know who it is. We'll go back and create a CMA, comparative market analysis, send it to them in the mail and say, here's what your true value of your home is worth. And it's really just a great service, but it generates a tremendous amount of leads for us. I sort of went off topic here, but sorry, I want to finish the form. So right now, it's like the headlines, thanks, you're all set. We will be in touch soon. In the meantime, you can access our instant evaluations on by clicking the link below. Something like that. Okay, so if you don't have it, don't worry about it. You can just send them to your website. If you don't have a website, send them to like your social media page. You can send them anywhere you want. Okay, and that's it. And call to action text, you could say, learn the value of your home. Okay, and that's it. That's simple. So that's the form that they're going to fill out is completed. Okay, what did I miss here? Oh, so this is a message just above the actual. Just say fill in the form below for instant access to the value of your home. Simple. Okay, so Facebook will prompt you if you miss something. So it's quite simple. So I've created the form. So that's done. So I've selected the form. So when someone sees the ad, this is what my ad looks like on the right side. Do you know the price of your home? Most Torontonians underestimate the true value of their home. Do you know what your home is worth? Learn more. And they click on it, and that click will generate that form we just created, and they'll pre-populate it. So first ad is done. And what we want to do is want to publish this ad, and you click publish, and it'll go to your campaign manager, which are ad campaigns, and you'll see where it populates. And Facebook will take some time to review it before it goes live. And then it's totally up to you if you want to, you'll see if it's running properly. It'll take a few minutes. I don't think it'll populate by the time I finish this. But in the meantime, I wanted you to say, okay, where do we find the leads once they've started being generated? And that's something we call the Meta Suite, which we talked about earlier. Okay, so this is what the Meta Suite looks like. So when you get a lead, it will come into this intake form. And this intake form, it will then allow you to prompt or distinguish who is coming in. We've set this up where it says, we have sellers, we have buyers, we have realtors, we have investors. So there's all different things. And what it does, if you click on a lead, it'll open up this form and it'll show you their information. Here's their name, here's their phone number, here's their email address. It'll tell you what form they filled out, and then you just go from there, right? It's quite simple. So then you have a lead, and it's great. Now, what's up to you is you have to get in there and you have to follow up, but you want to follow up instantly with these leads. Now, these leads are inexpensive, and in the third secret, we're going to show you how to reduce the cost significantly of Facebook ads. But for now, you have the instant steps of getting a lead out there. An ad out there so that you can start generating leads. At the end of the day, when I first started in real estate, I really only had print advertising. And the problem with print advertising, it was so expensive, so it was very limited in size. My first year, I had 1,000 house farming area that I was using, but I really couldn't afford to spend more money than that. And the money just wasn't coming because print advertising isn't great. But in my second year, I expanded to 5,000. Then we got up to like 20,000 in my third year. And then by my fourth year, it was 25,000. But we found that it was just so much more expensive the bigger we got, and we weren't generating the same kind of revenue. So we actually capped it back down to 20,000, but it was still extremely expensive because I don't know who's in that 20,000 homes, who's buying, who's selling, who wants to invest, who needs my services. So the issue with print advertising, you're really kind of just spending money and you're hoping and praying someone calls you. With the beauty about Facebook, you are tapping into anybody in the country, in the world, who want your services. If someone's in Europe and they want to come live in Toronto and they want to buy a home, I can find them. I couldn't do that if they lived in Europe and I was sending out print advertising. That's why you are now tapping into an infinite source of clients. They're looking for you. The problem is you're just not out there. So you got to put this out there. So make sure you implement what we did today. It's more important you get it out there and started, and you'll start seeing the function of Facebook and how beneficial it is to your business. And remember, there's really only 3 key things you have to focus on when it comes to listings, which is home evaluations, expires and FSBOs. And the buying side, it's investors and it's just general buyer ads. So there's really only 5 ads you got to create. They don't take very much time. Go out there, get it done today. We'll see you on the next one.